here is a piece of Neoceram, which is basically 1500 degree Fahrenheit resistant ceramic glass. And this is going to be going on my tent stove so I can try to check on that secondary burn without having to open up the front and losing all the heat. So what I'm going to do is cut this, and this is the way you cut glass. Now this is 1/4 inch thick, and it is kind of small for breaking by hand, but if I had the pliers, the glass separating pliers, that'd be great, but I don't have them, so I'm just going to use gloves. I used to do this for a living, so it's really no big deal, but I'll just show you how I go about this. Now I have a nice cutter. This is a CRL cutter, I believe, just the basic one. If you look up Toyo, T-O-Y-O, CRL, you'll pull up this cutter, and I've been waiting for it for a little while. Now there's a scratch on this glass that I'm going to actually be going off of, and that's the correct width that I need. If I can see it, 4 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it on that existing mark. Now this cutter is about 3/32 wide, so whatever I measure at, I have to go under a little by about 3/32. This cutter actually oils as you push down. That little spring action opens up the oiler. Did you hear that sound? I don't know if the camera picked it up, but it got a nice easy sound. I have a nice score mark there that's been oiled. If this was thin plate, this would be easy. As it's not thin plate, I'm going to have to put on the gloves. But I'm going to basically brace my knuckles on either side of the cut mark, and I'm going to twist up like this with both hands at the same time, and just do it on the very end, and then the brake will chase the score line. But glass is sharp, ceramic's really sharp, so make sure you wear gloves. And it just snaps just like that. You see how nice and clean that is? And I didn't cut myself. Now I need to measure it the other way and make one more cut. I need 2.5 inches wide. Now normally I'd be doing this on like a carpeted table or on a towel or something, but I didn't want to get one of my wife's towels. And I don't have a carpeted table, so I'm just using a couple of little paper towels. I got a nice score mark again. I'm going to show you a different way that you can break 1/4 inch glass. I'm still going to put on my gloves, but when it's short like this, you can actually take that score line, which you can't see. I can put it over right by where the edge is going to be, and I can just snap down. But I didn't get as nice of a cut that way. I do have a little bit of a flare out there. So I'm going to sand this, as I do in all glass. And when you sand glass, make sure that you're pulling away, always pulling away from the glass, because if you're pulling the sander into the glass, it's going to chip the glass. If you're pulling away from the glass, it just sloughs off and it comes out fine. I don't have a belt sander, which is what I normally would use. Well, a small belt sander, which is what I would normally use when doing this. So I'm just going to use my grinding disc. I'm going to put on my glasses though. Now normally you'd use about 120 grit sandpaper. I used 40 because that's what I have on here, and so it does chip the edge out quite a bit. If you used 120 grit or even finer, maybe like a 200, it actually comes out quite nice. You can put a little bit of oil on the edge and it refines it. This is just for a prototype stove, and so I didn't really care about it. I just wanted to knock the edges off so I didn't cut myself, which I did, and that's the way you go about cutting glass and finishing the edge, but again with the finer sandpaper.